Get out the street. What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Adam Pecora here. We rocking out with the Unlucky 13. The Baker's Dozen. Episode number 13. Here we are. Requiem for a Tuesday. Lot to get into today. Lots of big news popping off. Straight at the top of the episode. I'm giddy. I'm itching with excitement. I cannot contain myself, as you may be able to tell. Now, a couple big things. We're finally making the move to, being normal and actually being available for everybody everywhere instead of doing my get a little YouTube plan. Now, that always was a starter plan. I always had the thing. I was like, the thing in my head was like, I'm gonna get to 10, and then like we gotta get this thing ramping up. One, because I don't see the point in like don't invest in it right away. Because like imagine if I did like 4 of them and I was like, I can't really rock this out. I'm not feeling the time. I'm not confident in this product. Blah blah blah. For however many million potential reasons why, that this could have maybe ended up being like, a dead end, a failed experiment, and then I'm dropping like the mad money investments on it, and you're like, oh shit, now the Rona's here. I didn't get my Trump bucks yet, so like I'm fucked, and wish I had that pod investment back, right? So yeah. That's the main factor. It's like don't dive in. Put your toes in the water a little bit first. So I made it to 12 because I was thinking to myself like, well, if I get these Trump bucks, I can use that to invest in me. And then it's like, does that stimulate the economy? No, but it stimulates the economy. M-E. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that's gonna go. But anyway, regardless, as of this recording right now, we're up Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube. Staying with YouTube, we're gonna keep doing that. I like that. It's always gonna be part of the little process now. And Podbean, which is the host, right? Waiting to hear back from Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. However, pretty confident that that's gonna be coming real soon, possibly by the time you are listening to this currently. Isn't that interesting? All the backlog is up. That was the big reason. It's like, if I'm going to be having everything out there, let me give people something to choose from, right? You got to have options. You can't just be sitting around without, you know what I mean? You can't be bringing tap water to the to the potluck. You know what I mean? If you got to at least have a flavored water. You can't be rolling in like, oh, I just filled up this jug. Let me get some mashed potatoes. I don't think that flies. Not in my zone anyway. But yeah, real excited about the Spotify. And hope the Apple one comes. That's when I'm gonna be like posting that shit everywhere. Changed if you're an OG YouTuber, feel like switching. It is in the channel description. I have a link tree that goes to everything, as well as in my Instagram bio. Adam.rfat is my IG handle. Follow me. And rate, subscribe, review, do all that shit that you do for anybody else. And let's gang this shit up. We stacking Benji's quarantine 2020 Corona victorious. You know what I mean? But yeah, real excited about that. So yeah, hopefully big things coming. That's the goal. We making straight moves. On the IG dropped a little art for the pod. We got that's like the merch streams that I've been talking about. You'll be seeing like those designs on shit someday. Big time on tour 2020. Just kidding. For now, we'll see. But yeah. There's also a thing that I've noticed. So the main the big thing that I wanted to start off with was a thing I was gonna start off with a thing that I'll get to because I'm actually starting with this thing that happened as a result. You follow me? Probably not. That's what I'm saying. That's how difficult this whole situation gets, where I'm like, I realize like, I want to talk about this, or like in the middle of talking about something, I'll be like, oh, did I talk about this already? It's because in my head, I'm always doing this. This is just like, I'm just like putting it on a record. You know what I mean? Like I'm just laying this shit down on tape, but like this is like private brain 24/7. So I roll up on here and I'm saying it out loud. I'm like, did I say this on here already, or have I just thought this a million times and like gearing it up, and then I get kind of lost in the whole thing. So yeah, I need like a right hand guy who's just like fact checking me, like a Simpsons did it type thing, but only if I did it, because I mean, I'll you know, if I have to avoid all topics the Simpsons have brought up over the years, then I mean I might as well just go back in time and never even think about this. You know what I mean? But yeah, I rewatched the first original and only, frankly. I mean, Spider-Verse is huge, but the Spider-Man 2001, 2002, whatever, Sam Raimi style. So if I did talk about this already, too bad, but not really. I'm going to kind of breeze through it. It's just that, like, because I would rather just focus on Sam Raimi. So if I've already done, like, the whole, like, Spider-Man thing, which I believe I have, that's fine. But the parallels, but first of all, the fact that you can have two killer trilogies, and I don't care what anybody says, like, yeah, Spider-Man 3 kind of like whack, but when you're looking at it with parallels with Evil Dead, like, it is definitely the Army of Darkness of the trilogy. Like, it's a comedy, it's more over the top, it is way out there, you know what I mean? Like, and it just went out of hand. And we all know that there was production problems with Spider-Man 3, and it probably would have been a different film had he gotten it the way he wanted, okay? So I don't need him getting shit, especially when 1 and 2 are better than any other Spider-Man thing ever other than Spider-Verse, but that's animated, so that's a whole nother category, right? Garfield ain't shit. Tom Holland, don't even bother. Those are Avengers movies. I don't care. Spider-Man movie shouldn't be about Iron Man. It should be about Spider-Man, like those two were. Tobey Maguire crushed it. Great actor. Don't care what you have to say about that, because, I mean, look, am I like a guy watching every Tobey Maguire movie ever? No. I mean, probably outside of the Spider-Man movies, I think I've only seen Pleasantville, but that's also like amazing. So, I mean, can't be running on Maguire like that. And see, like, now I don't know if I've said this to somebody, if I've said this on here. It's throwing me off. But regardless, how do you go? First of all, how does he get that in the first place? I think that just goes to show how nobody knew, like, what was going on, like, with superhero movies, like what we had going there. Well, obviously that's true. That was the one that like made it even possible to think that superhero movies could be like attainable quality films. But that goes with my earlier theory. Like, if you want a high quality movie, you hire good filmmakers to make them, period. Whether they like fit or not is different. They're going to come up with what they come up with. Like I said, there's a lot of body horror in the original Spider-Man. Like, if you really look at it, it is totally, fully a Sam Raimi movie. Which is I'm gonna say it now so I don't forget, but I'm gonna get to it later. Kind of like The Straight Story by David Lynch, but I'm gonna circle back into that. Yeah, he was totally doing like what he wanted with it, while still like he's just good and understands that he shouldn't have broken like too far from the strain. I assume would be the reasoning, but yeah, I mean, he didn't make it like totally like an original thing, but he made it his own, which is the ideal scenario, right? But if you get like a popcorn flick dude to make a popcorn boring, you know what I mean? It's just going to end up being the same tired shit. So it's like, if you want it to be like a movie, you have to get the auteurs, but like, can you get them now? One, if you can get them, why aren't you? That's where the question lies. But props to Sony for hiring him. I mean, I'm sure there was a lot of relationships involved in that. Whatever the case was, I mean, it was clearly the right move. Nobody could have done better. And I mean, like, who they gave it to after was terrible. I just think poor decisions were made with Spider-Man for a long time. And it's not fair, but I mean, they were ahead of their time. And that's usually part of the repercussions of that. I mean, like the 08, like the Celtics, when they had the big three, they were like the first big three. That was like the craziest shit ever. And then the Heat did it, and they won more titles. You know what I mean? Like, you're never gonna get it right the first time. or not all the way. Like, you know what I mean? There's going to be things you messed up on. And, Spider-Man, unfortunately, is one of those cases. And because of the whole ownership thing, we may never, you know what I mean? It may just never work out again, where, you know what I mean? So we might just have to deal with those. When are we going to get our Dark Knight? Like, is Sam Raimi going to be Tim Burton, or is he going to be Christopher Nolan? Like, which one are we going to consider the best? Because as of right now, I mean, that trilogy is unparalleled. Regardless of what you think of the third movie, try to tell me that 2 out of 3 batting average isn't fucking knocking it out of the park. Teddy fucking ball game, okay? Please. So don't even start me there. But yeah, to have 2 trilogies, period, probably a crazy achievement. I can't really think of anybody off the top of my head. Well, I mean, like Lucas with Star Wars to Indiana Jones, but like Spielberg directed the Jones movie, so like I don't know how to categorize it. I'm talking like pure, like if you directed 2 trilogies, I can't think of anybody. Now I'm sure that there's a glaring answer, but regardless, I think that's impressive. Even more impressive is to have them all be good, because as we all know, sequels are usually a downgrade. Whereas I would say, arguably for both, that the second movie in each trilogy is the best one. I mean, Evil Dead 2, 100%. For me, I think that is like one of the greatest. I put this in quotes, horror movies. I mean, it's not scary now. Who knows if it was then? But just on an entertainment factor, like technical achievement, I think that that's an absolute masterpiece of a movie. And the first one's good, and especially considering like the story behind it and the conditions and everything that they went through, like living in that cabin, getting sick, like barely eating. Like a bunch of people almost died. They got like yellow fever and shit, or whatever. I got the mumps on the Evil Dead set. So like just props to all that, making it happen. Like DIY inspiration right there. That's the Kevin Smith of the '80s, the '70s. They made it in the '70s. They came out in 1980. Whatever. You know what I mean? That's like him and John Carpenter were like going toe to toe at the same time almost right there. Halloween, like. I think Halloween came out and that was the inspiration, maybe? That sounds right. Don't quote me on that, though. Well, you can quote me if you include this part where I say I don't know for sure. Right. But I mean, and then Army of Darkness is just batshit insane. And then, like, I know he wasn't involved with the show, but just as a franchise, I mean, for the quality to hold up like that is unbelievable. Like, for Army of Darkness to be your third movie and it's just like, the worst one is the easy thing to say, but like it's still like pretty solid. Like it's like okay. It's just nowhere on the level anymore, and that's fine. I mean, it's disappointing that it's the last one. You would rather the first be the worst, which is almost impossible feat. Toy Story had it until they put out this new bullshit one. Don't even get me started on that. Maybe I'll go in on that in a minute when I loop back into David Lynch Disney. Another just bizarre. But yeah, I mean, for Sam Raimi to be able to do that is just unbelievable. And I still haven't seen Drag Me to Hell. It is driving me up the wall. It's dragging me to somewhere. I don't know. It's dragging me into Corona. It's not. I hope. Knock on wood. You heard that? That was me knocking on wood. This looks like real wood too. I'm pretty sure this table is what it's damaged. I think it was found in an alley originally, but it's a very unique table, and I hope it lasts forever. Good wood. Maybe I'll stain it. I'll get all daddy about it. Not like daddy, like dad e, like dad-ish, dad e. Right? Does that make sense? Like retiree. I'll get like dad e about it. Anyway. But I mean, I need to dive into his filmography more in general. It's just like some directors just don't get any love on streaming. It's unbelievable. Like the fact that they put all the Scorsese shit on even after they dropped an original. Like what? Why are you not putting these legends on there? I don't get it. It's like all the best movies ever you can't watch on things. You can only, you know what I mean? It's just weird. Even like ones that you know what I mean? I don't understand it. It's like But before, I don't think you can watch The Godfather anywhere anymore. But even when you could, like, there was a point where HBO just had it as 1 and 2 edited chronologically into a movie, which is like, that isn't how that went down. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know where to begin with that. So that's just not fair. I just think put the classics on, whatever the rights need to be. I mean, I guess Criterion tried and we just didn't support them. But they're also like trying too far. They're putting out the archives. If you want people to join your service, be like, hey, we have The Godfather, Citizen Kane, Kubrick shit. You know what I mean? Like, say we got all of it. We got all of it popping, all the best ones, and we also have all these gems. Like, I don't think your advertising should be like, we got this 1953 noir that nobody fucking saw. But you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you gotta appeal to somebody. You know what I mean? Can't be sitting there fucking chirping. Whatever. Like, I mean, a perfect segue. Like, you have to appeal to somebody. The fact that I don't know what the background here was, really. I tried to look into it a little bit, but basically from what I read for The Straight Story, if you haven't seen it, it is 1999, I want to say, Disney film, rated G, by David Lynch. All of his movies are rated R, right? Dune might have been PG-13, but, like, we don't talk about that, okay? And although I think technically Elephant Man was like PG, but that was like the pre-PG-13. Ooh, the pre-PG-13. That was nice. The pre-PG-13 era. So I think that movie would have been PG-13. It just definitely wasn't rated R. But either way, that compared to The Straight Story is a bloodbath, right? Like, that is an R-rated movie in comparison. But Straight Story rated G, not even PG. I believe it's G, which is crazy because it honestly hasn't earned it. There's some pretty dark stuff going on in that movie. Obviously, given who it is. Like, I originally didn't understand why that guy would do, like, why David Lynch would do a Disney movie. And then when you hear what the subject matter is, which I'm getting to, don't worry, I'm building it, okay? This is what we like to call narrative structure, okay? Just kidding. I don't know anything about it. But like like when you hear what it's about, it's like, that doesn't really sound like his thing. But then when you like kind of think about it and analyze it, which I'm getting into, it kind of all adds up, right? But you think David Lynch and Disney just doesn't make any sense. You know, he makes crazy, surrealist, borderline horror exclusively films. And but it just worked out, and it's a great flick. Rewatched it, better than I remember, even better than I remember. I think this is my third or fourth, and has gotten better every single time. Pretty much all of his stuff does. Ages like wine in culture and personally, right? So like as the years go by, the things that didn't get appreciated start to get a little bit more appreciated. And then as you watch it more, like you just see more stuff, and it's just awesome. It's just awesome, right? So, little background. Movie's based on a true story, right? This dude, he's like an old man with ailments. He's like going blind, other shit, whatever. He can't drive, like legally. His brother like has a heart attack or like something bad happens to him. He's like, I gotta go see my brother. They had like tension. They haven't talked in a long time, but they got the news. So he's like, I gotta go see him. He rides a lawnmower from like somewhere in Iowa to somewhere in Wisconsin. It's pretty far. Like it would be a long drive. Anyway, like hours and hours driving, and he does it on a lawnmower, going obviously much slower. Meets characters along the way. It's basically a road movie, but it's an old man on a lawnmower, right? That sounds fantastic going in. Easily could have been a comedy, frankly. They could have found a way to make the whole journey just a wacky thing. Not that they should have or anything. I just think you could make this movie again as a comedy. You know, you make the journey a little bit less serious, play down how serious his illnesses are. But yeah, like he's like, I ain't quitting smoking. I ain't doing shit. Give me the prescription. I'm out. And but yeah, that's the whole thing. It's the journey along the way. On Wikipedia, David Lynch was quoted. I don't know if this is an accurate actual quote or whatever, but he was quoted as saying it was his most experimental film. Sounds like it wouldn't be, but like the thing is, like, does that mean for him it is because it's like a Disney flick, so that's the weirdest thing he could ever do? Or if you actually watch it, I mean, he's kind of doing some interesting stuff, but I mean, he's kind of just like being him. I think just the fact that it's like a Disney movie with like a more normal narrative, I think that's what makes it's experimental, like for him, and I think that's brilliant. That may have just been obvious, but I enjoyed reading that, being like, this guy, he just fucking gets it, you know. But yeah, all the performances were phenomenal. I mean, it was nominated for the fucking Golden Palm. I don't say it. I know I know, like, it should be said in French, but I just don't understand that pronunciation. D''OR. Can't get it down. Cannot do it. It's like I have peanut butter all over my tongue when I try to belt that shit. But yeah, I mean, so like, movie was taken seriously. There was like Oscar nominations there. None for Lynch. Dude gets no respect from the Academy. I mean, we all know that. Give him. I mean, he won the honorary. Sure, that's great. But like the fact that he didn't win for Mulholland or like Blue Velvet is an absolute crime. And whatever. At least they knew what to do at Cannes. You know, they get him. So, that's pretty much what I've been basing my scale on. Like, I'm just trusting Cannes more because like they rap David Lynch pretty hard. That dude has steady been nominated, has won. You know what I mean? He's been winning awards. But it's that same thing. Like, should awards matter? Blah blah blah. I'm torn back and forth. It just seems like, I don't know. Like, if everybody says that they do, then they just like have to, right? I mean, like, you can't be that one guy who's like, who gives a fuck? Because everybody does. Like, you just, even if you genuinely don't, it's like you have to understand that they do have merit and like recognition. So that's just the reason why. It's like they don't fucking deserve it. Like, if they're gonna be stupid and like fuck it up, but for everybody else to understand, like, you know, for people who are gonna be like, oh well, this movie was just nominated, like, I watch winners, you know, because that's definitely a thing. I mean, who's like digging around for Oscar nominated films? But I mean, then we look back and like view when they fucked up, and it's like, oh well, these nominees should have won instead, right? But I don't know. That's where it gets tricky. I could talk about that for years. That's why I bring it up all the time. Whatever. But yeah, I mean, Sissy Spacek plays like the dude's daughter. She's a little out there. She clearly has like some kind of mental disorder or something. If that's incorrect, and she's just playing some crazy like Lynchian style character, that's fine too. But like, normally the way she's acting in a normal David Lynch film, she would be like on drugs, right? Like, Sissy Spacek in The Straight Story reminds me of the mom in Twin Peaks: The Return, who's just like doing heroin and screaming 911 while her kid's running around Las Vegas. Like, that lady, she was real fucked up, so that might be pushing it. But yeah, she's a little over the top. I mean, she definitely dialed it up, and it seemed like a little off, you know, and not like she seemed off as a character. Like, it seemed like she was doing too much, like, especially for the setting, because especially the guy starring in the movie was dying, like, while he was doing it, I guess. So it was like a dying man playing a dying man, going to see a dying man about it. You know what I mean? Like, crazy depth there. So I guess like that's why his performance really shined through so hard. And I mean, obviously, you know, David's gonna bring it out of everybody, right? But yeah, their interaction, like at the beginning, she's only in the beginning of the movie, obviously, because he's on the road by himself. So it's not that big of a deal. But she just comes in like pretty hard, and it's like it clashes. So just get past that part, because it's gonna seem a little weird. She comes at it a little too aggressively, I think. But then it kind of evens out as a couple more characters get introduced, and then you start seeing a couple people from Twin Peaks, and you're like, oh yeah, like this is the gang's all here, right? Like you're seeing some David Lynch collaborators in the game, and yeah, I think that if other than her coming in like that, everybody else is pretty solid and even. He meets like a chick who's pregnant, but it's like all implied, like really good dialogue. I think that almost that's part of the reason why it shouldn't be G. Like the subject matter is just something like no child would ever watch. You know what I mean? Like it's rated G, but I wouldn't call it a kids movie. Like everything is so heavy. Like it's all about death, smoke, like don't smoke. You know what I mean? This dude's just rolling reds and cigars the whole time. And yeah, he meets like a chick who runs away because she's pregnant, and like then what else happens? Gee, it's awesome. It's fantastic, and it's all these very like Lynchian shots. Like he frames everything the same kind of way, and like he makes it a little weird. It's very bizarre still. It's not. It's like all of his surrealist visuals without a surrealist like story happening. So like everything that's happening is like very 100% straight on and real, and like, you know, it's just like a drama road film. It's lighthearted at times. You know what I mean? It's got a lot of emotion and heart packed into it. Like it was like a movie made with love for sure. And they like actually filmed it along the way of like the route he took, so it's like on location and it's like in the right spots. You know what I mean? And it's just great. It's just a really, really well made movie. So if you have Disney Plus, you can watch some David Lynch. Get your fucking get your cinema score up. You know what I mean? You got to show everybody you take the cake, you make the rank, you bank the bank, as they say. See, like, this is why I have a love-hate relationship with, like, having X, like, there's an X amount, I don't know what that X is, amount of super thought out, I wouldn't say super thought out, but let's say just like prepared ideas to introduce, is that I either feel like I'm spending too little or too much time on them, but then like as I'm going through it, I'm like, I'm definitely forgetting points that I wanted to make. I think that's part of the reason why things circle back. It's like, I realized that like I had a half-baked take. That's a good podcast name. If you take that, or if it exists already, then fuck it, you did a great job and I'm late to the party. But if I just came up with that and somebody wants it, just give me $5 and credit. Half-baked takes. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like if you realize like you came up with a better point after, or you had a better point to begin with that you forgot to even mention, and then you're like, fuck, well, how do I redux that? You know what I mean? Like, let me do part deux. But I am currently very well behind right now. Well, I wouldn't say well behind. I'm a little bit behind. It's Friday right now, which is fucking insane, first of all. I have no concept of time. Don't really leave beyond the porch. Although, yeah, so I got a couple things coming here. So the week has just been pretty wild, however. So I was gonna hit one of these. I was gonna hit this episode on Tuesday. Like that's usually the goal, is to like record Tuesday or Wednesday and just have it up, ready to go. There it is, right? And I want to get towards 2 a week, especially now that I'm gonna be like publishing, like mass publishing. There we go. I want to have at least 2 a week going. You know, like I think Bill Burr's got the good schedule with the Monday, Thursday. I might do like a Tuesday, Friday. That would be like super ideal. If I could make that happen, I would love that. But like 2 a week is going to be my thing, I hope. Definitely one though. Definitely one. But maybe we'll amp it up. We'll see. But yeah, so I was going to hit the one on Tuesday, and then it was just a beautiful day here. Like Monday was like, 50 degrees. It was great. And then Tuesday, I don't know, was 70 degrees. And then, boom, same time, I happened to have a reservation for pickup from Alinea, 3 Michelin-star restaurant in Chicago, if you don't know. Hundreds of dollars would normally cost. $40 thing. I'm like, I'm not going to pass up this opportunity because I don't have the kind of cash to eat fine dining of any kind. You know what I mean? Like, No. So I took that up, walked there, 4 miles, rough. Had a sack, like a little pocket of blood chilling in my pinky toe for a couple days. Popped that boy open in the tub last night. Cleaned it up real good, soaped the tub down. It was all right. But food was phenomenal. Best meal I've ever had in my life. And it was like a heated home thing. So I can only imagine. I mean, obviously, it's supposed to be like a top world class place. But I couldn't even fathom how good it must be. Best meal I've ever had. Right? And then it was just nice out. So I was just like, I'm going to keep going outside. I did Uber back. I could not make the walk back. I was just like, I'm definitely not getting on a bus or like the L. Those cesspools of corona. Like, I've already locked myself in the house. The one day I go out, I'm not just going to hop on a train like nothing's been happening. You know what I mean? So that was the reason for the walk plus the nice day. But yeah, my feet were killing me. It was pretty rough. Well worth it. It was worth the money, the walk. Would do it again. I'd walk there again today if I had to. But, yeah, so then, yeah, just ended up like that whole night. Just like, it just became a fiesta, you know. Got a little sip with the boys, and wow, boy, was I not ready. Killed a whole bottle pretty quick. Don't really remember doing it. Definitely looked at my phone and regretted whatever I was doing. Nothing inappropriate, just embarrassing, you know? Just like a couple too many sups. You know what I mean? It's like, why would I do that? You know what I mean? Every now and then, you just wake up and you're like, who did I message? And you're like, Jesus, really? Why? You know what I mean? Like, no malintent in there. It's just like really? Why are you stirring the pot right now? Let's keep this chill. Let's keep this fun. Anyway, wake up, feel terrible the next day, naturally. Kind of lingers throughout the day. I get lazy. Boom. That's over with. Wednesday, not an option. Yesterday, same type of deal. It was pretty nice out. I just kind of didn't get there. And I also spent last night building the whole online schematic. So now everything's all set up and ready to go. I took a few hours to just get it all ready. Yeah, I had to build like 5 link trees, so my link tree has a link tree. That way it's not fucking 100 things long. But it looks good now. Again, link in my bio, adam.rfat on Instagram, or in the YouTube description, or it's just like linktree / RFAT. You'll find it all there. Or I feel like Tuesday for specifically just RFAT stuff. But if you go to the linktree / RFAT, that'll get you all my shit. All the music I'm involved in, you know, portfolio stuff. I got it on there. You want to hire me? Let's do it. I'll probably take that one down eventually. But, yeah, so I spent a few hours doing that. Instead, I was like, let me build some infrastructure here. Why do the episode before doing that? So then that's how that kind of turned out, but now we're a little behind. So hopefully that I get myself back on track after this one. But we got plans. You know what I mean? I'm organized. I keep things going. Keep it loose, keep it fun, keep it fresh. Right? Now, that doesn't sound like it bodes well for my springtime schedule, but I mean, we're talking like first nice week of the year. Looks beautiful out right now. I just looked out the window and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get off of this thing. I gotta fucking stop. Still haven't busted out. I did say I was gonna bust out the fucking the tension things and like kinda exercise. Haven't busted out the tension things still. I'm doing my little foot peddler and my little yoga style. Not enough. Definitely not enough. You know, I would love to come out of this, you know, at least at like 180 somehow. That would be like a dream. So right now I'm just trying to like not eat as much as possible, and then trying to hit those 2 little lame exercises and hope that that's just enough to malnourish myself down some weight. Because I don't have the patience for it. And frankly, I don't have the stamina, and I get that that's how you build it. But that's the irony, you know, in being American. It's just not how it works. If you can't handle it, you just don't. we can't be pushing ourselves through all this. I got chest pains. You know what I mean? Just kidding. I'm fine. But I get short of breath pretty quick. I can't be running. Running is the worst. I got foot problems. I got flat feet. I got bloody toes. It's a whole disaster. I don't have anywhere to soak my bunions. I don't know what bunions are. I don't know. When I was a kid, I feel like a lot of shows, a lot of cartoons for children had grandmas with bunion things. It happened at least twice. There was at least 2 bunion episodes in 2 separate cartoons, possibly on 2 separate channels. You know what I mean? We might be talking Cartoon Wars style. Who knows? But what is that? Right? Like, I don't know. I never had to experience it. I never had a grandma be like, hey, suck my fucking bunions, bitch. It just hasn't happened. Maybe that makes me fortunate. I don't know. It's possible. But I think whoa, I just had a stroke. No, I think that I thought that it was a part of your foot. Like, you know what I mean? You got a heel, you got a big toe, you got a bunion. But I think now that it's more of like a wart, I don't know. Hopefully I never have to deal with it. That would be a dream scenario, to not have like foot virus. How embarrassing would it be to be like, I got gout? You know what I mean? Because like, just the fact that it's called gout, it just sounds gross. It sounds like you would use it to like, it sounds like it would be like the cement for bricks. You know what I mean? Or like, what's that stuff called? Like caulk. Like, I use caulk, he uses gout. I think that's because of grout. Is that a thing? Yeah. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Words rhyme, free association, here we go. But yeah, it's just like on the name. Like, you don't want to have something with a whack name. Like, I'd hate to be from like asshole Florida. Oh, I don't know what happened to my mic there. Or like Dick Cheese, Wisconsin. Oh, you mean that guy from brown ass Kentucky? Like, you don't want to do that, so you don't want to get gout. Get gout. We could do a gout PSA, Death Grips remix. Somebody call me. We can make it happen. Yeah, you know what I mean? I just think that it's just like, hey, you're an asshole. Here's this thing. Knock on wood. We're gonna be gout free 2020, baby. Hey, boys night. I love how that like Barney Rubble-esque chant, it just became a thing. I'm smiling ear to ear still, just thinking about hearing myself say that like that in that voice. I love that goofy goober shit. Goofy goober, yeah. I mean, let's talk about that. You want to talk about a film franchise that has failed monumentally, that is disrespectful on a level? Let's talk SpongeBob, because near and dear to tens, possibly hundreds of millions of people, at this point spanning, what, 3 decades? Two. It's 2. But come on. You know what I mean? I could still watch the old ones, which only means to me, yeah, I'm real choked up about it, which means that I clearly didn't get it as a kid, which was the case with like Rocco and shit and a bunch of shows. But SpongeBob, I think, is one of those shows where it's like it wasn't actually for kids. It was just better at hiding it, right? You didn't really notice as much. And it was just nice and sweet and playful and goofy and silly, and kids could watch it, and there was music, and it just all worked out for everybody. But, and then the movie comes out, fucking, you want to talk about it knocking it out of the park, slam dunk, free throw line style? Like Dr. J running shit, blowing the world open? That is how you make an animated show into a feature film, ladies and gentlemen. I also will say I think Teen Titans Go did a good job, and I think if you don't like Teen Titans Go because it's not like the original Teen Titans, then you're pretentious and you don't understand the point of it, and I think I've said that already, which I know that I've said that I think I've said it already every time, because I always think that, because I talked about that earlier. See how it all comes back? I am the callback king. On accident. Didn't even plan it. You know what I mean? This is unscripted, unfiltered. This is raw. This is a lucky strike. You're smoking luckies today, baby, with this guy. But yeah, the SpongeBob movie, unbelievably good. Rewatchability factor, 10 out of 10, through the roof. It is a phenomenal masterpiece of television conversion. Let's put it like that. I wouldn't say the movie itself is a masterpiece, but they upped the animation. They made the stakes higher. They did everything you would need to do to take a show to a movie. They gave it one story, but they didn't take anything away that people like about the show. It's very much still the show, just with a narrative, which is a little bit harder to think, but they made the narrative last. I think the movie ran a little long. They probably could have cut it. I don't think that it's that long either. I think it's only like 90 minutes, but I think they probably could have cut like 7 to 10 minutes. Let's just be honest. Kind of feels like it goes on. And if it is like 2 hours, then it definitely needed it. But whatever. And then like the cast was unreal for the new people they got. It was like pure cameos, but they fit their characters. Like it wasn't just like, how do we amp this up? How do we crush it? And it took what is normally like an 11-minute story structure. They made it a full movie and they did a great job. I think The Simpsons is close, but they had a way higher pedestal to get to. And I thought that movie was awesome. Originally, doesn't rewatch as well. It doesn't. I'll be honest. It's still good, but when you're The Simpsons, you know what I mean? And all the episodes had sucked while they were working on the movie, so it's like I'm not really expecting much, which I think is what made the movie better at the time. Still, like I said, still solid, still a good movie. Just doesn't live up to the classic. They had too many classic episodes that are like all time in television history, not just like specific animation, not just specific for the age demographic animation like SpongeBob might be. Just pure television, they're on a higher level, so like getting the movie, I get it. Right. But then they do that fucking sponge out of water bullshit. Right? Is that what it was called? I don't even care. They go 3D animation? Where does that even come from? And like, my thing was like, okay, well, if it's like as well written, I guess I can let it go. They're trying to make it more of a movie. Not really anything in theaters is 2D animated anymore, so they're like adapting to the times. I guess you could let that go. Then you watch the movie and it is just a children's thing. I mean, they did ruin SpongeBob towards like the end. I think it's like still on technically, whatever, but it's just like so childy now that they just like they took away all of the magic from it. They took what is commercially viable and like strangled it to separate it from the body of the rest of it. Like they decapitated just the marketability part of it and turned that into a show, and it is just not. Like there's just no reason to enjoy it. It's like for babies now. Okay, so just the downhill run of SpongeBob in general, I guess, is pretty heartbreaking, but I mean, I guess that it's technically not, it's like not even presented as a sequel. It's just like, hey, this is a SpongeBob movie, but then like the new one kind of seems like it's a sequel to that other new one, and it's just like, the fuck are you guys doing? You know what I mean? Like, that is such an example of how like the machine is trying to decide what you want, right? I think it works better with marketing. Like, it doesn't work as well with movies because everybody has like a real opinion on what they like about a certain thing. So you can't just like churn out a movie that fits like whatever formula you think will make a bunch of money and then realize it's a disaster, like Sonic or whatever. Like, you don't get to dictate it then because like there's like a fan base behind it. Whereas like if you put out a chicken sandwich, it's like, yeah, I'll go try it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really give a fuck about, I'm not like, I love one chicken sandwich, you know? While I might, I'll still try another chicken sandwich. But if you try to tell me that I'm going to go see like a live action SpongeBob movie, I'm going to say like, fuck no. You know what I mean? Like, I'd maybe watch that for like jokes. I'm definitely not paying cash. You know what I mean? That's like a roast situation. But like you can't like tell the people what they want when it comes to like IP franchises. I think if you try to go too far, it just won't work. And I don't know. I mean, those movies are going to make a fuck ton of money because like anything that's just for children just makes money because like that's all there is. You know, there's like 5 things a year. So you have to go. You just have to. So I get it. Like you're holding people hostage, but wouldn't that just be the thing? Like if you really wanted to do something great for kid, that's why like every once in a while, like David Lynch, like you'll see an auteur go into that route. I keep using the word auteur today. I'm trying to seem intelligent for once. But like Wes Anderson's Fantastic Mr. Fox to this day, one of the greatest animated movies I've ever seen. It is the quality of his best movies, just animated, but it's like exactly the same. The writing is just as sharp and snappy and quick, and all the voice performances are fucking phenomenal, and the animation looks great. Like it is just perfect. It is absolutely perfect, super underrated, and I'm gonna say it because I'm always gonna say it, but I may have mentioned that before. Never forget that. I might make a shirt that says I might have mentioned that before. That would be the next design. Put that on the list of all the other ones. Okay. Somebody get a running list of all my ridiculous fucking quote ideas that I can keep pushing for stock top. It's time for the stock swap. Swap some stocks. But yeah, I'm taking a hit in the market. No, but in all seriousness, my 401k has been obliterated, as I'm sure everyone says. It's almost like a good thing I didn't have that much in there, right? Because like I'd be losing fucking hemorrhaging cash, like. And my investment account taking a shit. Again, luckily it didn't have that much in there. But, I mean, just really shit in the bed. We are just hemorrhaging money. You know, by the time I get those Trump bucks, who knows what we're about to be doing. You know, I was trying to do Supreme Investino. Nah. I'm trying to keep most of it, honestly. I'm going to pay off like some shit real quick that I shouldn't have done in the first place. And I'm holding on to that. Because who knows what we're heading for. Might be in for the long haul, ladies and gentlemen. Might see you in winter. Might not. Might be back. You know? How long can we stretch it? Just give me some cash. If this results in me just consistently getting cash for free, I mean, the way I look at it, it's almost a victory, right? You hear that knock on wood? I keep knocking. You know what I mean? Just in case. But you know, we feeling good. We staying safe out here. Stay safe 2020. Safety first, then teamwork. Everybody knows that. So don't act like I'm playing it cool, playing it coy, playing it casual. I'm out here keeping it real, okay? I'm on a immunosuppressant medication. So, which, by the way, I don't know if I should take or not. Like, I'll be fine without it. I'll just start getting, like, dry skin. It's like, is it worth it? I don't know if it even does enough that it actually makes me, like, at risk, air quotes, right there. So who knows? You know, I should probably call somebody. You know, probably do something about it. But, you know, maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see. That's part of the thrill, the adventure, you know. I keep things interesting. Got to keep it light. Got to keep it tight. Got to keep it right. But don't. You know what I noticed? I genuinely found myself getting a little upset, but then it became like a phony thing. But I was watching Hot Ones, and I was just like, man, this is the most leftist show I've ever seen. And by that, I don't mean anything about politics, so you keep that shit at the front fucking door when you're coming to me, okay? I mean, they're eating from right to left. As a lefty, I put myself in Justin Timberlake's shoes yesterday. They didn't fit because I guarantee that guy was like a size 16. The amount of confidence that man has is unbelievable. And again, totally, pun intended, justified, right? Christ. But yeah, I was like, I would reach left, which in that situation is the most hottest. Because also it doesn't even make sense. Like you read left to right, so why would you be going right to left? It's a hand thing. Oh, you just assume everybody's right-handed? I bet they don't ask. Now, if there is an episode where somebody requested it, then that's different because they requested it. going the other way. And I was just like, fuck, man, we don't get any breaks. You don't know, okay? You don't know what it's like to not be able to use a pair of scissors. I still really can't, kind of. I just kind of figured out how they worked pretty recently, like last couple years. But, not how they worked. I know how they work. But I mean, like, how I can use them. You know what I mean? Like, how to make them work for me. I've barely been able to figure it out. And there are still a lot of scenarios where I cannot. And it is brutal, and it is frustrating, and I look like a fucking idiot. You know? And, there's knives. You know what I mean? So, here's the thing. I understand that one, you're not really supposed to, and maybe you kind of are, but I definitely don't, and I agree with it. We're going back to The Simpsons here. Ned Flanders, I don't think that that's a likable guy. I would be annoyed by that guy. I get it, right? But his idea for a left emporium, brilliant. Of course it closed down. Of course it closed down. You know what I mean? Like, how could you sustain it? I get it. Maybe now as an online business, he just has you know what I mean? He just fills up his garage with supplies to ship out to people. Sure, maybe it could happen, Ned Flanders was ahead of his time by doing that. It didn't work as a store. It would be an online store. Brilliant. But, we need those. Where's the lefty glove out there? We need to unite as a thing. Now, here's the thing. I'm not a guy with a lot of causes. I'm not saying that this is an important one. I'm saying it should be one we should consider. Okay? Just think about the lefties every once in a while. Just think about them. That's it. You don't got to be that radical and start having lefty supplies and all your stuff. I'm not talking about a revolution here. I'm not saying we're oppressed people. I'm just saying, we're not thought about. Not taken into consideration. You go to pay somewhere, everything's aligned. So if you're right-handed, it's a little bit easier. Just a little bit. It's just a little bit. It's just a lot of minor inconveniences. And they add up over time, and you realize this is a right-handed society, and I'm a left-handed person in this world. You know what I mean? Maybe that just sets the tone for the rest of your life. The second you discover you're left-handed, all your fucking hopes and dreams just go out the fucking window because you realize you can't sign your name without smearing the ink, and all of a sudden they don't fucking hire you anymore. Who knows? You don't know where it's going to lead, right? I remember there was an episode of Rugrats about it when I was a kid, and they're like, Chucky, stop fucking bumping into me, you fucking piece of shit, right? He's like, I'm trying to fucking color this little house. And Chucky's like, dude, I'm sorry, my parents are getting divorced. Like, I can't handle all this. He's like, I'm fucking 2 years old, bro. I cannot handle all this pressure. Yeah, and it was just rude. They were all just like, fuck you, Chucky, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? You stop fucking bumping into people, then maybe you can come back. And they're like, Chucky, stop using that hand. What are you, fucking retarded? And it's like, Jesus. That's what life's like, Hard out here for a lefty. Remix that 3-6 Mafia song, Hard Out Here for a Left, instead of Pimp. Because it is. It is. And I was like, boom, Chucky, favorite character right there. He gets it. He knows the struggle, Chucky's Kampf. Oh, boy. Controversial statement. Speaking of controversial statements, I have one more to make. I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to keep it brief. Okay? Don't want to be judged for it. I'm going to put in the necessary disclaimers that I feel that I have to, but I don't. I feel that I am pressured to, but I should not have to. Right? I just want to say, with the information that I have, no. Let me back up. I'm just going to say this. Louie C.K. put out a new special. I think it is one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my entire life. It's one of the best specials since he put out a special prior. I'm just gonna say it. Tom Segura's new one was also amazing. Not gonna try to knock that. Which originally, when I saw him in Chicago, had like a Louie impersonation part in the masturbation bit, and it made it so much funnier. I understand why you wouldn't include that in the special because of like every reason, but to not just seem like a dick, like you're calling somebody out. I get it, and I respect that you wouldn't like put a diss track on your album. You know what I mean? You put it on the mixtape. But I wish it would have stayed. Made the joke a lot funnier, but I get it. Anyway, yeah, it's great. Here's the thing. The story that I know is that they said yes. That there's a bunch of gray, terrible area that I get. It still is wrong. I get it. But I'm just saying, like, some people deserve second chances. I personally, with the information that I have, I think that he is absolutely one of them. Part of that is because he's one of my favorite artists of all time. I would call him an auteur as well. I think that what he did in television is unbelievable, both with Louie and Horace and Pete. Amazing show. Season 4 Louie, one of the greatest things I've ever seen. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? great artist. If, you know what I mean? With the information I have, I still support. That's all I'm saying. I think that he's a very funny guy. The funniest guy ever, potentially. Okay? I love it. The special's great. I think you should watch it. That's all I'm saying. Go watch it. I'm not going to hide it. But if the information I have is incorrect, then maybe I'll change that viewpoint. But I think Michael Vick served his time, and as a dog lover, Also, if you watch that Michael Vick doc, he wasn't supposed to get that much jail time. The media totally pushed that, and there was a lot of pressure for that, which isn't fair. It isn't fair because it wasn't like with the way the laws were at the time, he shouldn't have gotten that time. He should have gotten that time because the laws should have been structured so that he should have. But since they weren't, it's unfair to him personally because that's not what, it was beyond max sentencing. Now, max sentencing should be higher, again, I'm saying. But he served his time, a lot of time, at the time, more time than he should have, and has been nothing but an advocate ever since. So, I'm sorry. I forgive him. Also, was my favorite football player at the time when I was a kid. He was unbelievable on Atlanta, and then when he came back for the Eagles, beautiful story. So, maybe Louie joins the Eagles. That's all I'm saying. Just maybe. I could be wrong. I admit that I could be wrong. I just think you should listen to that fucking special. If you choose to not pay for it and find a way to pirate it, so be it. Then you're not supporting. Then I don't really see what the issue is. Then you're just watching something. I don't think anything is wrong with that. I think you can watch and listen to anything by anybody. If you're not giving them any cash, then what's the fucking crime in it? Maybe you want to watch something just to be angry at it. Be like, fuck this guy, fuck that. Then do it. Sure, maybe you'll hate it. Whatever. That's fine. If you're just seething the whole time, if you didn't pay, what's the difference? I say give it a shot. You know what I mean? I don't think that you have to disown everything that you liked. I don't think that that's what I don't like. I don't like the whole disowning things you already love. If I really, really loved something, I'm sorry. There's just too many things. You know what I mean? It might complicate your relationship with something, but that doesn't mean you're not going to love it. Right? I think on a more extreme level, as far as I know, again, based on the information that I have with the stories that I've read, who knows? Could be wrong. But Brand New, one of my favorite bands of all time. Their records mean a lot to me. I was a real sad little kid. I was a very depressed teenager, and it was perfect because it had art. It had artistic integrity in the emo-ness of it. It was both things. It was experimental a little bit. It was cool. Anyway, the music. But then their whole thing came out, and it's well, that sucks, and that is awful. Pretty bad. Again, not as bad as some of those things, but a bad thing, sure, from the past. You could argue that's forgivable too. I would say probably less so. But who knows? Throwing it out there. But I'm just saying, it ruined the context of it. I used to listen to them all the time. Very rarely now. But I'm not going to not do it because, I already was super in. It made me less in, for sure. And I'm, not repping them. I get it. But I'm not going to, abandon what I spent, years on. You know what I mean? People got tattoos and shit, and it's now you're gonna now do they have to be judged or do they have to do something about it? It's no, they shouldn't because you know what I mean? It was irrelevant at the time. I don't know. Controversial topics. What are you gonna do? Somebody's got to say something about something. I can't get canceled if I don't exist. You know what I mean? So fuck it. Blow me up. Maybe I'll go viral now. Somebody call up the fucking Google man and put me at the top of the list. Because I'm a fucking criminal, apparently. You know what I mean? Fucking put me in Twitter jail. I don't give a fuck. Just kidding. I'm just saying things that professionals would say when they say things like that. So, does that make me a you know what I mean? If you emulate a profession, right? If I take a shot like MJ, am I MJ? Who knows? That's not for me to decide. Haven't played in a while. I need to get a hoop in the yard. Then maybe we'll talk. Maybe I'll be one of those guys doing impersonation videos by the end of the summer. You know what I mean? I'll fucking dunk. If there was a way to get me to be able to dunk, I'm all for it. Because, well, obviously that would just be amazing in general, but the chubby white guy who's 5'8" and has fucking holes in his face, ears, whatever. But you know what I mean? I don't look like a guy who could do anything. And I can't really. I don't have much of a shot. My shot is always close. I don't know how to hit shots. I know how to hit, like, almost. That's it. Like, my method is, like, I can get it to the rim. I don't know how to get it in. It's embarrassing, but I admit it. I have a solid drive, but no handle. So, like, that doesn't really work either. But, like, I can drive with force just because I'm a chunky boy. You know, if you're husky in the lane, you know what I mean? The twiggy dudes just get out of the way. So that works. So I kind of just hold the ball like a fucking running back, and I try to just take big steps in the paint like Derrick Rose used to, but without speed or skill. So I'm just doing it like a battering ram. I'm like Jerome Bettis trying to cut through the fucking middle. But yeah, I think it would just to throw a lot of people off. You know, I could definitely hustle some cash out of some people. Well, white men can't jump. I get it, but I'm not Woody Harrelson even. Like, not even. Like, I'm especially not Woody Harrelson, right? Woody Harrelson's a gem, amazing guy, phenomenal actor. I don't know him. I assume he's a great guy, though. How could he not be? And super entertaining guy. So, yeah, I'm certainly not Woody Harrelson. Let's put it in better terms. Right. I'm 100%, I get it, not Woody Harrelson. That might be the more controversial thing there. If you cut that soundbite and he's like, I'm not Woody Harrelson. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds like I kind of talk shit on Woody Harrelson right there. That's the craziest thing I've said all day. Yeah, I think that would be that's my move, because like they're like, this guy, especially not this guy. Like, that's how you make a sequel to White Men Can't Jump. It's like Danny DeVito or somebody, like, you know what I mean? Somebody in that type shows up. Josh Gad. He's just like, yeah, let's fucking go, and he's just like ripping threes. I think if you trained him enough, he could do it. I think with enough training, any actor could pull it off, like in a movie setting. Like, for whatever the thing is. I think, like, if there's enough training with the right trainer and they actually put in the time and effort, anybody can make, like, any actor could probably make something happen. Now, like, any good one. You know what I mean? Like, if you're a good enough actor, I think you could definitely learn any other thing. Like, if Kevin Garnett was able to do it vice versa for acting, why can't he teach a guy how to play basketball for a movie? You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe not him specifically, but I think that you can learn it both ways. So yeah, I'm going to be dunking pretty soon. And yeah, we'll probably close it on that, because I think that this fucking podcast was a slam dunk. Boom! That's how you fucking end it. Again, subscribe, like, comment, rave, review, whatever the fuck, because now I'm out everywhere, baby. Well, as of right now, not literally everywhere, but everywhere coming soon, going to be everywhere. Boom. Subscribe to all that shit. Never forget, never ever forget that I are fat, you are fat, and we are fat. Calculator.